That's the question. We'll keep across it. Let's turn our attention to the airline industry and, of course, the continued search for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. Now, on Wednesday, US lawyers filed preliminary papers for lawsuits against both Malaysian Airlines and the plane maker Boeing. Now, the law firm Rybeck says it will be seeking millions of dollars of compensation for the families of each passenger and will be focusing on possible design or manufacturing defects that may have caused the plane to crash. Let's get more because James Healy-Pratt joins me right here in the studio. James, Head of Aviation at Stewart's Law. Great to have you with us in the studio. You know, I've been getting a lot of tweets on this story. I've been talking about it today, and the majority of the tweets basically saying, hang on here. We don't know the cause. In fact, we still haven't found any wreckage. Isn't a lawsuit's of kind a bit early?
It's certainly far too early for any lawyers to run off to a US court and say, let's go and sue in America and get families millions. The families want three things. Firstly, they want the truth, which is the fate of their loved ones. Second thing they want is the prevention of further innocent loss of life, so not letting this sort of tragedy happen again. And then lower down on the list is potential compensation. Money never ever brought anyone back, but we need to sit back a little and just see a few more facts before actually thinking about advising families on the best place to file lawsuits.
So talking about that, why the United States? I mean, is it because of Boeing? I mean, why would these be filed?
Well, 10 years of aviation cases like this mean it's overwhelmingly probable that a US court will actually not hear any case of this type. And any lawyer who is recommending families to go to America is actually giving false expectations to the families, and that is unacceptable. Yeah, it's quite simple on that point.
Does it matter in the region? I mean, I hate to say it, but does the cost of life vary from in the States to somewhere in Asia, somewhere in Australia, etc.?
Families are not treated equally or fairly in air crash cases. It depends on individual countries applying their own laws. So America is the most generous legal system in the world. The average settlement is about $4 million. Whereas in parts of Asia it can be $500,000. And of course there's an economic argument to bring all cases to America, but the American courts in a multitude of aviation cases have said, no, this is the wrong place. And so in law, international law, Malaysian Airlines are going to be on the hook for the family's claims, regardless of the causes.
And what could this cost Malaysian Airlines?
Well, it won't cost them much because their aviation insurers here in London will be paying. We know that the insurers have already set aside $250 million. We believe that's too low. On Air France 447, which was 2009, that was double that sum. And we certainly believe that should the families file lawsuits in Malaysia, Australia, Europe and China, then we're looking at about 500 million as a minimum.
I've got to wrap this up, but going beyond cost, damaging to the reputation of
I think there is huge reputational risk here because the families will want Malaysian to prove they're not putting profit before safety, and it would cost less than £1 per passenger per life to actually enhance the communications on this aircraft, which would have given everybody more data about its last known location.
So we'd know, well, know where to try to find it anyway. James, great stuff. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay put there. James Healy-Stewart there, joining us from Stewart's Law. OK, let's go straight over to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Our very own